The meeting of the Minnehaha County Planning Commission. And I'll begin with a few introductory comments. Sounds repetitive. Any final action taken tonight on a conditional use permit request will take effect 5 working days following this meeting unless a written appeal to the Planning Commission decision is filed in the planning office by Monday, February 2nd at 5 p.m. In the event of appeal, the decision will be referred to the County Commission for a hearing on Tuesday, February 17th at 9:15 in this same room. Any final action taken tonight on a rezoning application will be referred to the County Commission for a public hearing on Tuesday, February 27th at 9:15. Meetings of the County Commission are held in this same room. And we'll first ask if there are any objections from a Planning Commission on any item listed on the consent agenda. Okay, hearing none, then I'm going to read the items on the consent agenda. First, the approval of minutes on the November 24th, 2014 meeting, which is a little easier to remember. And the second item is a conditional use permit 15-01 to transfer one building eligibility, and that's located approximately a quarter of a mile east of Crooks. Is there anyone in the audience here that wants to have that moved to the regular agenda? Okay. Item number 3 is a conditional use permit 15-02 to allow the adaptive reuse of a former dwelling for personal storage on the property, which is located at 25676 481st Street, and that's approximately 4 miles north of Brandon. Okay, that stays on the consent agenda. Rezoning 15-01 to rezone from A1 Agricultural District to C Commercial District, and that is located at the northeast corner of the Crooks Renner exit of Interstate 29. Is there anyone here that wants that? You want that moved to the regular agenda, or is it okay on the consent agenda, sir?
What do you mean by move to the regular?
Do you want to discuss it?
Yeah.
Well, I
do you want to just
approve? Let's see if they can run a tile through my ground.
Okay. You need to ask to pull it then.
Yeah, we'll pull it off the consent agenda because with the consent agenda it's just automatically approved without a discussion. So we'll move it to the regular agenda so you can ask your question. So that's number 3. Number 4, excuse me, thank you. And number 5 is a rezoning 15-02 to rezone from A1 Agricultural District to I Light Industrial District, and that's located at 25985 482nd Avenue, and that's approximately a half mile north of Brandon. Anyone here for that item? That wants regular agenda? No? Conditional use permit 15-03 to allow a single family dwelling, and this is approximately 2.5 miles north of Crooks.
We would like to pull that as planning staff.
To
the regular agenda.
Yep. All right. Number 7 is a conditional use permit 15-04 to transfer one building eligibility, and this is approximately 3 miles west of Crooks.
I'm here for that. Keep the regular agenda.
You want to pull that one?
Well,
He just wants it done, so I don't think
You're the applicant?
yeah.
Okay, then you had to leave it right where it's at.
Yep.
Okay. Item number 8 is a conditional use permit 15-05 to exceed 1,200 square feet of total accessory building area. They're requesting 3,024 square feet on property located at 26537 481st Street, and that's approximately 3 miles east of Sioux Falls. Item number 9 is a preliminary subdivision plan 15-01. And that's for property located approximately 2.5 miles west of Crooks on 257th Street. Item number 10 is a conditional use permit 15-06 to allow a dog boarding facility on the property, which is located at 25319 459th Street, and that's approximately 5 miles northeast of Humboldt. Item number 11 is a conditional use permit 15-07 to transfer one building eligibility from the location, or at a location of 25322 475th Avenue, and that's approximately 3.5 miles southeast of Baltic. All right, and then item number 12 is a conditional use permit 15-08 to transfer 3 building eligibilities on property located at 24549 473rd Avenue, and that's approximately 1 mile east of Del Rapids.
I'm the owner.
Okay. I'm assuming you're okay if we approve it.
Yeah.
All right. Anyone else? That'll stay on the consent agenda. And item number 13 then is a conditional use permit 15-09 to allow a single-family dwelling, and this is located approximately a half a mile southwest of Garrett's. All right, by my notes, and staff keep me on the straight and narrow here, the items on the consent agenda are 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13.
Yes.
We have a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved. Second.
A motion second. Any further discussion? All those in favor of approving the consent agenda say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And therefore, those items on the consent agenda have been approved. So if you're here for those, you're free to leave at this point. Your item has been approved.
It's my third meeting tonight.
Regular?
Right. See how you do things. Right.
3 meetings? Hey, Joe.
We've had it in the last 10 minutes.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah. We're very efficient.
Hectic schedule here.
Okay, item number 4.
All right. Kevin Hookman, Minnehaha County Planning and Zoning Department. Item number 4 is to rezone a parcel from the A1 district to the C commercial district. This is the north 150 feet of Francis Tracts. A couple of years ago, most of this parcel was rezoned, all but this north 150 feet to commercial, because there's a zoning eligibility located in that parcel, and that 150 feet kind of maintained that eligibility for housing. Where this the applicant noted that eligibility isn't worth as much to him anymore, and he wants it all rezoned. So we're going to get rid of that and get rid of the eligibility along with it. Point to it. So all the surrounding property is agriculturally zoned. This property and this property does include residential dwelling located in those 2 properties. For reference, the other 3 corners of the interstate have a lot larger industrial and commercial developments as well. And that's where we're basing our recommendation on, is that to kind of mirror and locate commercial near commercial as the other developments are. So the staff's approval, or recommends approval of the conditional use permit, and I did not pull all my stuff.
What number is it?
Yes, very good. Staff recommends approval of rezoning this parcel to commercial.
Okay. Any questions for Kevin?
Kevin, didn't we rezone some of this for storage facilities? Where was
Yes.
that at? Where are those at?
That is on this parcel right now.
Oh, they're on this parcel?
Yeah, a couple of years ago, that part that was rezoned was also had a conditional use attached to it for storage units. So.
The map is a little bit misleading. The parcel that's shaded in gray, we're just rezoning the north 150 feet of that. The rest of it is already all zoned commercial or light industrial to the south.
So
Back in the old
like-
days, it was a tree farm, I think.
Yes.
And it's approximately 2 acres.
Okay.
So the north 150-foot strip of that lot is what we're considering tonight.
Thank you.
And you're right, there's a conditional use permit for storage units on the south portion of that.
And if the applicant wants to move more storage units onto this 150 feet, he would have to revise his conditional use permit as well. So that would be a second step.
Okay. Thank you. Is the petitioner here?
Yes, sir.
Do you step forward, state your name and address, and any comments you'd like to staff report or any other?
Tim T. Hart, my address is 25524 472nd Avenue. I live about 2.5 miles north of that parcel on the Blacktop Road. What we'd like to do, we have the south part here is storage units now, and there is a building here. and here. We'd like to add 3 buildings this year, and the northernmost building, this corner here, would get into that part that is still zoned ag. That's why we'd like to change that to just all commercial now.
Okay.
Means we're going to get into that area there.
Any questions for Mr. Tier? Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else in the audience that would like to speak to this matter? Please come forward, state your name and address.
I'm Bruce Mack. I live just right on the east side of that property there. And I just was wondering if you could maybe put some tile down so it could go underneath the ground, because I get a lot of water runoff and I can't put the hay up in there very well.
Okay.
It's always moisture getting in there. They could go through there. There's a lot of ruts and tracks get stuck.
That's the way the water's running right now.
Yeah,
Okay. All right. Anything else?
not much.
Mr. Chairman?
Yeah.
So is the water running off of this property or onto this property?
It runs off his property. He's got all the buildings,
Okay.
and it just sheds water a lot better.
Thank you.
When it was grass before it would soak in, it just kind of
Right.
Makes sense.
runs off, and doesn't take much rain, and it soaks my ground. I just have a tile going through there, or underground, or something to the creek that goes through
Thank
my
you.
land there.
Anyone? Mr. Tier, would you like to come back up and maybe respond to that if you've got any ideas on what you might do to?
I spoke to Mr. Mack about this in the past. I believe he did get a bid to tile his whole property there from THA Excavation. And he was wondering if I have a BM&E pond, retention pond on that property that catches all the water, and it gives it to him in an 18-inch culvert at a controlled rate. He was wondering if we could hook that culvert up to his tile when he installs it, and I said that would be fine with me if he wanted to do that. But according to the engineer, we don't give him the water any faster than before because of the retention.
Right. Yeah, makes sense.
With the 18-inch culvert, it's supposed to give it to him at a controlled rate.
Just in a concentrated fashion.
Yeah. We had some pretty big rains in June and kind of got to test it out, and it did hold it back and do what it was supposed to do.
All right. Commissioners, any further questions for Mr. Tier?
Well, if I may.
Yeah.
So where does the water eventually go? It leaves the pond, and if it hooks up to his, where does that go to? Does it go to the road ditch, or does it go to the river?
Through over my field and then into a creek. There's a little creek that goes through there.
Okay.
And it continues to run further south. It goes by the
Yeah.
Crooks Gun Club,
Right.
sort of that way.
Yeah, I think it ends up in between the interstates
Yeah.
and travels south.
Yeah.
It's good that you can work that out together, I hope.
Thank you.
Anyone else in the audience that would like to speak to this item? Commissioners, what's your pleasure?
Mr. Chairman, I'd move approval with the comment. Wait for a second.
With the comment, oh, the comment's going to come after. Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. Is there a second to? Second. Okay.
My comment is that I hope that the landowners can work this out, and in the good faith discussion that they've had is hopefully a good indication that they will.
Yes. Any other discussion? Got a motion and a second to approve.
Don't you have to put that as a condition of the permit?
I think it was a comment, I believe you can.
I'm not sure it needs to be carved in stone, but is there any reason why we would need to put that in there?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
you can't attach conditions to
On
a
the rezoning?
rezoning.
Right.
Unconstitutional. It's a conditional rezoning.
I'm confident that this can be worked out, and so
Unconstitutional stuff's happening. all
But
the
you
time.
could, when it comes back for the conditional use permit, when this comes back for the conditional use permit, that would be a time that you could then attach a condition saying that he addressed drainage, however you want to word it. It could be that would be the time to address it then.
Okay. All right then, so we, without a condition, we have a motion to approve this rezoning and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign, and that motion carries. Thank you.
No condition, but just a heartfelt suggestion.
Yeah. Then we're on to item number 6, and Kevin, I think you've got the floor again.
Item number 6 is to allow a single-family dwelling on this parcel located north of 2.5 miles. The petitioner had some troubles getting everything for the mailers out and stuff and requested for deferral. So it's just a deferral request, and we will also make that request.
To the next meeting.
Okay, a motion to defer for 1 month.
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion on a motion to defer? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign, and the motion to defer is approved. So that will be on next month's agenda. And then, on my records, that's it.
No, we have an election of officers, and we were going to add that.
Well, from the regular agenda.
Yeah.
Yes. So we have old business, which is an announcement that we made earlier, that we have a vacancy on the planning commission, and the application process for that, Scott?
Well, I'll just recap. There is a vacancy. Mark Rogan chose not to reapply.
Okay.
And so there is a vacancy. We advertise this in all the public media outlets that the commission office uses. We did not receive anyone that was interested in serving, and I think I indicated maybe that to you in just November, or maybe I can't remember. No, I don't think I did.
No, I didn't know that, because I know somebody I should get after.
Well, I guess where we are at is, if anyone knows of someone that would like to serve, I have been telling people, because I did get an email from an interested citizen on New Year's Eve, and I indicated that person should contact the county commission office and submit their name and tell them that they're interested. And eventually now what will happen is that I'll send another message to the county commission and tell them that we need to get the position filled, and it will be up to the county commission to see if anyone applied, and if no one applied, then they will need to beat the bushes to find someone that wants to serve. Because we do need to have
somebody that was interested last time we had a vacancy, and I just failed to reach out to them, so I'll give them a holler.
So we'd like to get it filled. It's important for variances that we have a full quorum.
When you were telling us this guy called you on New Year's Eve, I thought you told him that you were going to say you told him to sober up and reconsider or something.
we corresponded with emails. So it was
okay.
Emailing back and forth.
All right. So we've got that vacancy. So if any of you think this looks like a lot of fun, please jump in. The water's fine. And then we have election of officers, and a chair and vice chair. And I know that Mike is interested in either one of those positions, and I'm willing to do whatever. I stumble over all the introductory stuff, so I better over on the side maybe, but whatever you want to do. Jeff's frowning.
I think you're doing fine. How many positions are there? Just chair and vice chair?
That's it.
Wayne, are you willing to
Yeah,
continue
why don't
to
we do it
serve?
again? I'm fine.
So I'd make a motion to appoint Wayne as the chairman.
Second?
Any other nominations? Okay. We have to close the floor. I'm not very good at this, Robert's
You
rules.
just take a vote.
Okay. All those in favor of me continue another year as chair, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. There you go. We need a vice chair as well.
I nominate Mike Seifert. I'll second that.
Any other nominations?
I would just say that at some point maybe we need to train some other folks like Bonnie, but that's okay.
Bonnie, you good?
The awesome responsibility has to eventually transfer to somebody else. Move nominations be closed.
Any further nominations?
Second.
Okay, I suppose we need, since we have a motion to close nominations, all those in favor of that?
Aye.
That, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, so then we have a nomination of Mike as our vice chair. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, and the motion carries. And that takes care of the regular agenda, the old business, and we're on to new business, which is the Envision plan again.
Yep. David sort of gave you a little bit of a briefing, but we are meeting again on this Thursday. I sent the county commission a nice email this morning indicating that basically the comprehensive plan, the first draft is completely done. Then this next meeting on Thursday, we'll be looking at future land use, transportation, and then the implementation of the plan. And one of the things that I would like to discuss with the task force is if it's their, if they'd like to have some public hearings to sort of show the whole plan, the entire completed version. If we want to have some open houses at different communities, or if we want to have maybe just one here, one evening, or if we want to just take it, bring it right to the planning commission and then really advertise it that it's a public hearing in front of the planning commission and you could have people show up and you could take testimony at a planning commission. But that's one of the items we're going to be talking about on Thursday. I was under the assumption, or I thought that we had been putting chapters on the internet. I found out today we're not. So we loaded all. I think we loaded all the chapters on the internet for the public to look at. So we should have this plan implemented, I'm hoping, sometime in April, May at the latest.
Approved, right?
Yep. And under South Dakota state law, it will have to be advertised for a hearing in front of this board, and then you'll make a recommendation, and then we'll have a hearing published in front of the county commission, and it's formally adopted then. But David and Kevin have done a lot of work putting it together and writing it, so I'm very appreciative and kudos to them because they really, grabbed the bull by the horns and started working on it really good. So I'm happy with that.
Comment, did you send a reminder this week to those people on the task force just to remind them it's this week?
Forgot to send it today, but I'll probably send it out tomorrow or Wednesday.
Thanks.
Get it out again.
Yeah, and we talked about that
Both
we're
days.
going to send a couple of reminders, one on Tuesday and then again probably one on Wednesday, and just say the meeting is Thursday, the meeting's Thursday.
We had a better turnout, I thought, the last time that we had the meeting before. I think it was only like 3 or 4 of us there besides you guys. So.
But then this last meeting we had quite a few people.
Yeah, I thought it was
Yeah.
good.
So that's all I have.
The last time I looked at it, I thought it was very impressive, so good work. One suggestion I had was getting maybe a little more aggressive on maybe bike trail expansion. Was anything discussed about that?
We had a really good discussion at our last meeting, and they just about ate David up because we had, and Kevin, we talked about having a future corridor along the Big Sioux River, and that met with wide disgust by our task force. They thought it was a terrible idea, and it was big government taking land and the liability of people using it, and it just
Went nowhere.
It didn't go anywhere.
What about even as kind of a position, and I know the highways involved would be state highways, but if the county was taking a position that as they expand and resurface highways that they put a bike trail on. I'm thinking specifically about extending out towards like Wall Lake where we have our county park, extending out to our county parks in our areas.
Isn't that one?
And that's one of the considerations that I put forth in the transportation section, is taking that big picture mindset, not just regardless of the mainstream in terms of how we get around, we still have to think about other modes of transportation. And it's kind of my whole basis as far as I just included a small section on just what that impact of benefiting non-motorized transportation, recreation in the county, because it's not something we can just ignore because it is out there, and I think people are doing it. So I think it's one of those things that's important to consider.
Well, we just recently talked about the rumble strips on the Wall Lake Road and how that's a problem for bicyclists. So, taking some kind of stand in this plan, which is going to be with us for a lot of years, I think is really important. So that's in your transportation section we're talking about this week.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm out of town, but, my vote would be that we, really encourage those other forms of transportation and recreation, and we embrace them as this area grows.
Well, the other option that's open to you is the task force is just, a recommending body. Once it gets before you, you also then can modify it to, as you see fit, to send that on to the county commission.
There's been a lot of good work.
Well, it's certainly up to you. But I don't want you to feel that you're cut out of the process. So,
at all.
it's you certainly can put your input in it, and your input will be during the public hearing that we have before the planning commission, if you so desire.
And the last comment I made, kind of sorry to dwell on this section, but is I think those public hearings, if you could, it's good to try and see if you can get more people interested in it, rather than just doing it here.
Okay.
That would be my thought. All right, is there any other new business?
No, I don't have any.
Motion to adjourn? Yes. Yeah.
I would like to report on county.
Yeah, please.
We have a new commissioner, right?
Right.
Gene Bender was appointed 2 weeks ago now, I guess, replacing Commissioner Peckus. And we elected Cindy Heiberger chairperson for the second year in a row, and she's reassigned me to this duty.
Well, excellent.
Yeah,
Good.
along with some other cushy jobs. I don't have the abandoned cemeteries this year. Anyway, so we hopefully will see some of her. I know that that situation we had in the Brower edition caused us additional discussion at in commission meetings. Al was over there, and there are still continuing concerns as that operation, which in question is still not. They'll have to come back to us, right?
Yeah, so he has to apply for a conditional use permit, and he should be bringing that for the March meeting because it won't become effective. This Friday is the deadline for application, and the text amendment won't become effective before then. So he'll be applying in February for the March meeting.
Well, that whole thing was a result of violations of that operation before the rezoning. And that Brower subdivision just continues to be, we spend millions on economic development. Why can't we fix the Brower subdivision? I don't know. And I was out in Pierre last week for the whole week and was at some of those hearings on transportation issues. Bicycling was discussed, and certainly I talked to the highway department about that rumble strip on that Wall Lake out of Hartford Road, and that's based on their accident reports where they have, apparently a lot of people in Hartford have problems staying between the lines, go off the road, and there's some tough spots there, and so it's all based on their accident reporting. And our county roads were never built properly for, to have an area for bicyclists to be. And if you ever cross a county road bridge, there's no way that two cars and a bicycle can go across at the same time. And anyway, that's what we inherited from paving those gravel roads back in the day. And so here we are today. But the governor's plan for roads could give us some additional monies if we choose to. We've never used property tax for roads in Minnehaha County. And the governor's plan would allow up to $1.20 per thousand valuation, which when you consider that in Minnehaha County there's $11 billion of value, and $10 billion of which is taxable. A penny would be $1 million. So $1.20 would be $120 million. Not very likely, and I don't know that a penny is likely either. But we do have bridges that need work, and I certainly would prefer us to have a safe access for bicycles. Good. Anyway, sorry to go on so long, but that's the story.
Great. And I'll say that I'm glad you're back.
it's work sometimes. This was an easy one tonight, folks.
Okay, so now I'll enter, unless there's other items or comments, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All those in favor say aye.
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 What would you be?